ASMR. Tiki 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 tiki. And today I want to do something a little bit different. So I get a lot of comments on the hats that I wear, and I've mentioned to a couple people that it might be fun to do just like a hat show and tell of going through my collection of hats and just kind of walk through the ones that I have. I think it's around 25 to 30 different hats, so I thought it'd be cool to just show you guys my hat collection and make some good sounds as we go through those and talk about them a little bit. So I will do a little bit of tapping and a little bit of fabric scratching, maybe a little bit of hand sounds mixed in, and then just some whispered ramble as I talk about some stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. So starting off with just the hat that I'm wearing for this video. This is the newest hat that I got, which is a 1865 blue edition of a Kansas Jayhawks hat. And you'll see it has the Adidas logo on the side. But I like this one. On the front, it has the 1865 of when the University of Kansas started. And then on the back, it just has the state. So, pretty cool. It's a fitted hat. But for those of you that don't know, I did my undergrad at the University of Kansas. So, I have a couple of different KU hats. So I went to University of Kansas, so I have some hats from there. So I think I'll actually start with those, just kind of roll through the Kansas or University of Kansas hats. So outside of the one that I'm wearing, I do also have the 2022 NCAA Men's Basketball National Championship. So this is just the national championship hat that I got after they beat North Carolina in 2022. And you'll see that the emblem right there, the Final Four was in New Orleans that year. But this was a really exciting season where a good number of the players that helped win the national championship in 2022 were still there at the university, or were there prior at the University of Kansas when I was still enrolled there. So I graduated in 2019, and a lot of these players were freshmen or sophomores, and then they won the national championship when they were juniors or seniors. So that's pretty cool. That one right there. We also have a couple of just standard KU hats right here that I got in my undergrad and wore a lot. So this is a mesh back black and blue KU hat. And this is nice because it's super breathable, so I'll wear this for workouts sometimes. The mesh scratching sounds pretty good. So we have that one, which is the black KU. We also have the white KU hat. Once again, Adidas logo. And it says Kansas Jayhawks on the brim right there. And this is another just kind of workout hat. The thing about white hats is once you wear them and sweat in them a little bit, they kind of get that hint of yellow. So at some point I want to look at trying to clean these a little bit more for any of my white hats, but we have that one as well. And then this one isn't University of Kansas, but it is Kansas City. So this is a, let's see if you can see that. This is a KC hat. There you go. KC Kansas City hat. And it's actually a Monarchs hat. So my fiance and I went to the Negro League Baseball Museum, and let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you can quite see it there. It's kind of faded, but they have a really, really nice museum that goes through the history of the Negro League in the United States, talking about their baseball teams and the societal impacts around that league and a lot of the players that people might not have heard of. But it's a really cool museum, so I ended up getting a hat from that. So that's pretty nice. And I've worn this for a couple videos recently, I believe. And then some other hats that I have that are a little bit more basic. I do just have like a plain red Under Armour hat for workouts and runs. When I'm running outside, I try to always wear a hat unless I'm running at night. So I have a plain Under Armour red hat. And then I also have my Thailand hat, which I like. So I got this when my fiance and I went to Thailand 2 years ago. And it has like a brown, orange, greenish kind of elephant. And then it has the Thailand hat a lot too. But that is the Thailand hat. And then for these hats, I have an all black University of Utah hat. So I have a connection with the University of Utah. So I have a lot of U of U hats. This is an all black one, which is really nice because black on black on black goes with everything. So essentially anything I'm wearing, this always kind of matches. So I wear this one actually a lot. And I think it also just fits really well. But I have the black U of U hat. And then I have more of a standard University of Utah hat. So, University of Utah, they're the Utes. So on the back this says Utes and Under Armour. But this is more of just a standard U of U hat. That's pretty good. And then I have this one as well, which is Utah. But this one is red. And not the symbol, but the actual just lettered out Utah. So, those are a lot of my like university or more basic type hats, I would say, is the University of Kansas hats and the University of Utah hats. And then I do have this hat that I like a lot. This is the Colorado hat. Let me see if we can get a good look at that. I think that looks, you can kind of see it there. But this is like a teal Colorado hat that has a mountain etched in. And I think this one also just fits really well, and I like the color. I wear a lot of like blues and greens, so I think this works well. And I got this when I went and visited my family in Colorado, probably like 3 to 4 years ago. But I like this hat a lot too. I grew up about a half hour south of Denver in Littleton, Colorado, and my family still lives out in Littleton. My two sisters are both in Colorado as well. One's up in Fort Collins, one lives in Aurora, so a lot of my family's in Colorado. So we have that Colorado hat. And then for kind of like Colorado sports hats, I have the NBA Championship 2023 Denver Nuggets hat. And this is another white hat that I want to clean a little bit, but I really like this hat. This was the hat that is showcased in the most popular ASMR video I've made so far. That's like over 10,000 views or something wild, but I like this hat, so I think it's a little bit lucky. But I think it's really nice too. Colorado Rockies hat. I wore this for one video. The Colorado Rockies are incredibly bad. They're a very bad baseball team, so they're a little bit hard to cheer for. They're having one of the worst seasons in MLB history right now, but I do like their colors. The dark purple with the black and white I think looks pretty nice. These are like from their older uniforms, but I do like the purple for the Colorado Rockies. And this one actually makes good fabric sounds too. So, Colorado Rockies. And then we have a couple Broncos hats. So we have the Denver Broncos Super Bowl champions hat. And I like the back. So the back has the emblem for Super Bowl 50 right there. But yeah, they won this, what was it, 2019, I think. Let's see, 2019, 2020, I think it was 2020 at the beginning, because the Super Bowls happen in like January, usually, or February. Yeah, I think it was 2020, but that's the Super Bowl hat, Super Bowl 50. That looks pretty cool. And as you can see from some of the hats, I'm pretty lucky as a Colorado sports fan mixed with University of Kansas, because I know some of my friends are like fans of sports teams, and their teams, haven't won in a long time. But for me, we had the Broncos won Super Bowl 50, and then a couple years later, the Colorado Avalanche, the hockey team, as well as the University of Kansas basketball team, both won in 2022. And then the Nuggets basketball, Denver basketball, won in 2023. So I've enjoyed 4 championships in very recent memory, which is nice, so I can't complain. And then I do also just have a plain orange and white Broncos hat. That I like as well. So that kind of does it for like the sports teams ones. Some other hats that I have, this is going to be a big chunk from when I studied abroad in Germany. So in 2018, so my junior year of college, over the summer, I did a study abroad in Germany and lived with a host family up in Eutin, Germany, which is like way up north. And then we also traveled around Germany for the second half of the trip. So I lived with the host family for, I think it was like 4 weeks. And then the rest of the trip, for a couple more weeks, we traveled around Germany. So these are a lot of hats from my study abroad in Germany. So we have Rhine. Rhine, Germany. It has like really nice like blocked text here that I like. Deutschland. I used to be able to speak a little bit of German, but now this is like 7 or 8 years since I've gone on the trip, so a lot of my like German language skills have dropped off the map, so I still know a couple of things, but that is from Rhine. And then this is probably my favorite hat that I got there. This is from Munich, or München. But this is just a very smooth material. And once again, I really like the blues and green, so this blue and white I think looks really nice. On the back it says Robinruth and München on the back as well, but I really like these hats. And this is one that I wear a decent amount as well. So, Munich. I have this one from Nuremberg, which is kind of like camo. And I'd say this one's like a little bit scratchier, so I don't wear it as much, but it's just not as comfortable, but I still really like it. For Nuremberg. Downtown. So, Nuremberg. And then we have Berlin, which I wore it a lot in college, and then tried to wash it and didn't wash it too well, so I want to find a way to kind of like unwarp this because it's pretty warped right there. But the Berlin hat looks very similar to the Rhine hat, just different color wave. But I like this one too, so I'll probably look into trying to fix that one. And if you look closely, it's kind of like pinstriped right there. So it has like the khaki color, but there's like dark stripes down it as well. So I like this hat. And then I have the golden hat, which I've worn for a couple of videos. And this is a black and gold that I think looks pretty nice, with the umlaut up there. And then on the back, golden on Rhine. So I got this one as well. But those are all from my trip to Germany, and I'd like to go visit Germany again. My dad was actually born in Heidelberg, Germany. My granddad was stationed in Germany for our army, and my dad was born in Heidelberg, so he doesn't like speak German, but he was actually born there because my granddad was army. And that was one of the places that I didn't get a chance to visit there, is Heidelberg, so I want to go visit Heidelberg sometime. And then this one right here is another one of my favorite hats. I wear this one a lot. The CPH but this is Copenhagen. So this one is in Germany. But over one of the weekends when we were free and not doing like events or other travels, me and two of the other people on the trip went and spent a weekend in Copenhagen. So we took their Autobahn, Amtrak, light rail, I forget what exactly it was called, but Autobahn, I want to say, with a max, something like that. But essentially we took the train down to up to Copenhagen to Denmark, because Oitin is really close to that, since it's northern Germany as well. So I got this hat in Copenhagen that I like, so I got that one too. And then another hat that I got recently, right before this hat, my workplace did like a team building day where we went to the Utah Zoo, and I actually really liked it's called the Utah's Hogle Zoo. So I have this hat here. That is the Utah's Hogle Zoo, and it has a 1931 date with like a lion in the middle. But the reason I like the Utah Zoo so much is they are a really good zoo for like sustainability and animal wellness. I know some zoos are better than others when it comes to like how well they take care of the animals in captivity and stuff. But the Hogle Zoo is widely known for being a really good zoo that takes good care of the animals and does lots of stuff for conservation and sustainability stuff. So when we went to that, it was really cool to see the zoo and the way that they take care of them. And I got this hat from that. So this is another relatively new hat that I've gotten. So, and then I think those are all of my like baseball caps or like hat caps, but I did have a couple others that I wanted to share. So up here I do have some bucket hats as well. So this bucket hat is another University of Utah one that I saw and liked at our campus store. So it's just like a tie-dye red and white bucket hat with the U of U symbol on the front. But this is pretty good to protect your noggin from the sun. And my head needs a lot of protection from the sun. So, I have this bucket hat. I also have a white University of Utah bucket hat as well. So this one says Utah Utes, Ute Proud. And then on the back, once again, you have the Under Armour red, but I like bucket hats because you gotta just like crumple them up and then they just go back to form. They're good to wear, so. I have this white bucket hat. And then from my trip to Bali, one of the things that we did in Bali was we visited the Ubud monkey forest, and I got a bucket hat from Ubud as well. Let me see, right there, you can see the monkey, and the monkey's got like a little hat on with a couple flowers, but it just says Monkey Forest Ubud Bali, and I got that from the monkey forest. It's like a dark blue. Yeah, it's like a dark navy blue hat. last bucket hat is more of like my day-to-day, or I wear a lot bucket hat, which is this one right here. So I've had this bucket hat for probably like 7 years, 7 or 8 years. But this is a Quicksilver, like khaki bucket hat, and I wear this one all the time whenever we do hikes. I'll wear this bucket hat. So we actually did a 3.6 mile hike this morning. That was really fun. There's some beautiful pictures that I got of a waterfall. It's like a waterfall that goes from a stream inside of a middle. It's like a donut hole where water falls into a donut hole. It's like a waterfall into a cave. That's pretty cool. So I got some good pictures from that, and hiked with my fiance and a couple of her coworker friends. But I'll wear this a lot for hikes, and then whenever I go to like the lake, I go visit Michigan to go to a lake house with my friend every year. So I'll be doing that actually next week, but I bring this every year for that because I can just get in the water wet, no issue. And then whenever we're traveling and going like outdoorsy stuff, I'll bring this on the vacations as well. So that is my Quicksilver bucket hat. And then the last one that I'll talk about before I let you go, I didn't show off any of my like winter beanie hats, so maybe we could do another video of that later on, but I did have my moose as well. So this is a hat that is a special place in my heart. It's actually from University of Colorado. When we visited there, my older sister went to CU, so we visited her up there, or let me actually remember. I might have actually gotten this. Let me backtrack. I got some other stuff up at CU, but I actually got this when I was driving home from University of Kansas to Colorado over like a break, so Christmas break or something. I drove home and it was really cold, so at one of the gas stations that we stopped at in Colorado, I like wanted a warm hat, so I got this moose that I can put on, and it's got floppy little antlers that I like to wear. That's kind of funny looking, but I really like this hat. I wore this on one of the more memorable, like early on dates with my fiance. When we started dating, we did like a ice skating and dinner sort of date, and I wore this for that. But I think she liked it. And then at some point, years later, after we got our dog, Abby, my hat was sitting out, and I think she thought it was a toy because she chewed out. So you see one eye right there, but there's no other eye. She actually chewed out the other eye, so instead of an eye socket, it just has like a hole right here. Right there, there's no eye, like over there. So one of the things I want to do this year is buy a new like eye socket to put it back in there, so I can start wearing this one a little bit more too. But it's still a very warm, really nice hat, and you know, I think it's kind of funny, but it's just a moose head that you can wear around on your head. So yeah. And then I'll bring this one back if we do like a beanie showcase or collection video. I'll bring the moose back for that, and hopefully for that one, he'll have his second eye by that point. So, but awesome. So that's my collection of hats. I know some of you are asking for it, to just kind of see the collection as a whole. I think I've worn, of my like 40-ish videos, I think I've probably worn like 15 to 18 different hats. I try to keep it fresh so you guys have something different to look at each time, but that's just a rundown of the different hats with some fabric scratching, some hand sounds, and then some brim tapping, which I think always sounds nice. So that is my collection. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.